The Assembly will now hear an address by His Excellency Abdrabuh Mansour Hadi Mansour, President of the Republic of Yemen. I request protocol to escort His Excellency.
En nombre de la Asamblea General.
On behalf of the General Assembly, I have the honor to welcome to the United Nations His Excellency Abdrabuh Mansour Hadi Mansour, President of the Republic of Yemen. And I now invite him to address the Assembly.
Madam President of the General Assembly, Mr. Secretary General of the United Nations, Excellencies, ladies and gentlemen, on behalf of the Republic of Yemen, its people and its government, I'd like to extend to you, Madam Representative of Ecuador, a friendly country, to extend to you my congratulations on your accession to the presidency of this General Assembly. I would like to wish you all success in your efforts. Also, I'd like to thank your predecessor for his outstanding efforts at the head of the previous session. In addition, I would like to thank His Excellency the Secretary General of the United Nations for his outstanding efforts, especially his efforts to advance peace in my country, the Yemen. My thanks are also extended to his Special Envoy, Mr. Martin Griffith, for his continuous efforts, which we totally endorse. Madam President, Excellencies, I stand before you for the fourth time on this podium since 2015. We are still in the grips of a war which has been imposed on our authentic Yemeni people by armed militias that are supported by Iran and Hizbullah. They are supported financially, through the media, militarily, and logistically. These militias are extremist. They employ gangster-like tactics, such as blowing up houses, places of worship, and planting mines in an unprecedented, reckless manner. They recruit children by force. They collect funds and remittances by force. They have confiscated our liberties and rights. They wreaked havoc with our institutions. However, I would like to address myself to you on behalf of my government as well as our local authorities and governmental agencies, which strive from our provisional capital, Aden, and from our various liberated governorates to restore peace, security and stability, and provide services and create a democratic, civilian, federated state where human rights are respected, where the dignity of women, the youth, and the rights of the child are observed, in addition to various marginalized sectors of society. Society and the state where justice and equality prevail in accordance with the outcome of the National Dialogue Conference and in accordance with various Security Council resolutions. Excellencies, I have already stated before here that our predicament in Yemen is not a political conflict that can be contained by dialogue. I said that it's not even a coup as conventionally defined elsewhere. It is more than that. It is a series of attempts to undermine the foundation of our coexistence among Yemenis, to undermine our moderate beliefs as well as our national principles as laid down by our 26 September and 14 October revolutions. We are fighting a religious complex group. Politically, it believes in its exclusive right to rule as a divine right. It disregards all contemporary values of democracy and human rights. Socially, it considers itself a unique race and requests the people to glorify it. It is a group that has used all types of violence, that has torn down our society and created hate among ourselves. Nationally, it is a group that has foregone its loyalty and is a proxy that is beholden to Iran and Hizbullah. Therefore, all attempts at peace that are made with this group are doomed to fail, despite all our attempts and our huge concessions made to establish peace in Yemen. With this in mind, I call on the international community to shoulder its responsibilities by bringing pressure to bear on Iran so that it stops intervening in Yemen and supporting the Houthi militias, and in order to compel it to abide to international resolutions and to peace efforts. I have told you many times from this rostrum that Iran carries out blatant interventions in Yemen. It finances the Houthi militia, it provides it with weapons, missiles, equipment, and experts. It targets international and regional waters, as well as jeopardizing international shipping routes. It also carries out a policy consisting of overwhelming us with drugs and with illicit trafficking of drugs. It supports terrorism in both its parts, the Houthi as well as the Qaeda and Daesh. Excellencies, the Yemeni government has always reached out for peace, round after round of consultations, from Geneva, as well as through the consultations in Kuwait, including after the return of our government delegation from Geneva at the beginning of this month. Our high-level delegation to Geneva is keen to take any opportunity to ensure benefits that would alleviate our suffering. However, the intransigence and brazenness of the Houthi militias that are insurgents has disappointed Yemenis regarding any possible progress to be made, even on the humanitarian level. We would like here to restate that we are fully ready for peace. We are advocates. We are not advocates of war and vengeance. We are advocates of peace and harmony because we are fully aware of our responsibilities towards our patient people. However, sustainable peace based on national and regional and international terms of reference is what we seek. We would like to restore our state and put an end to the coup in all its aspects. We would like to uphold the sovereignty of our states over all of our territory. We would like to end the monopoly of weapons. This is the only manner through which we could ensure stability of Yemen. But we know that peace cannot obtain by cajoling those gangsters as some member states do. It is rather achieved by implementing international resolutions and being resolute in this implementation. Member states should be serious in implementing resolutions, especially Resolution 2216, which calls on the Houthis to withdraw from cities and institutions and hand over their weapons unconditionally. I would like, therefore, to call on the Security Council here to act resolutely in implementing its resolution, as it has always done in the past, to ensure a political transition in Yemen, as well as a national dialogue. And regarding the efforts of my government to protect civilians, especially women and children, I'd like to underline here our commitment to do that, to act so as we do not target these civilians, their schools, the hospitals, or residential areas. Our National Commission of Inquiry into Human Rights Violations is our independent national committee, which looks into any allegations relating to violations of any kind. Our government has also instructed the various units of our army not to recruit children, but rather strive to protect them and to rehabilitate those that have been detained while being in the ranks of the rebels, and make it so that these children can go to school. The economic hardship we experienced due to the war is due to the fact that the militias have wasted our resources and internal and external reserves. This has been truly felt by our citizens. In the face of that, and to stop this continued deterioration, we have introduced a spate of measures, the latest of which were last month, including the setting up of an economic commission. It has been authorized to take all necessary measures to stop the deterioration of our national currency and develop a comprehensive economic vision that would allow it to adapt to this exceptional situation we face. Our government, as well as the Economic Commission and the Central Bank, have taken a number of remedial measures and issued a number of immediate instructions to create the necessary conditions to facing this economic hardship, such as allow the export of oil and gas, stop the flight of foreign currencies, and stem importation of luxury goods, in addition to raising the interest rates. In this regard, Saudi deposits, which were not the first one to stop the fall of our local currency, have contributed to mitigating our economic crisis. And actually, Yemen nowadays is in dire need of support by all, more than ever. The Yemeni Republic, despite our limited resources and despite the current state of affairs, continues to participate in a genuine and meaningful manner in fighting terrorism. Terrorism is an unprecedented threat for international peace and security, as well as our development. And in the framework of fighting the scourge of terrorism, our government will not step back from any measures that would counter the financing of terrorism and money laundering. We seek in earnest to continue implementing our law on countering money laundering and the financing of terrorism. We have imposed more stringent controls on various suspicious financial transactions, and we have buttressed cooperation and coordination, as well as being involved in exchanging information with all international and regional competent stakeholders. The Yemeni government will spare no effort, therefore, to combat drugs and the illicit trafficking therein, so that are used to support and finance terrorism that these Houthi militias or Al-Qaeda or Daesh stand for. I call on all states in the world to cooperate with us also in fighting the smuggling of artifacts and their use to finance the militias and the terrorist groups. It is fortunate today that today coincides with the 56th anniversary of our 26th September glorious revolution. We declared that Yemen was a democratic republican system. This happened more than half a century ago. And we are proud to state here the glories of Yemen and the struggle of its heroes. I would like to underline here to my people that the journey of sacrifices initiated by them against underdevelopment, the rule of the clergy, injustice, and tyranny has culminated with the sacrifices of those heroes defending today our revolution and our republic and unity. In this 21st century, we can no longer accept the rule of the mullahs under a new garb anymore, as represented by the Houthi militias that wants us to revert to the dark ages of despotism. Yemen has been the origin and source of Arabism. It stands high and proud. It will stand high and proud and unified in the face of these militias under a federated, just regime which meets the ambitions and expectations of our great people. I feel sad when I see bloodshed in every inch of my territory. However, I feel responsible before God and my people for stopping this bloodshed due to this war imposed on our people. We will continue to strive positively and with patience and with everyone in the world, and we will leave no stone unturned to restore peace, security, and stability, as we are parties that are responsible for our people all over our territory. Our people is the one that currently struggles to implement the outcome of the National Dialogue Conference, which has enjoyed unanimity by Yemenis of all ilks. Excellencies, I would like, on behalf of my people, to thank the Kingdom of Saudi Arabia, its king, its government, and its people. It's played a leading role in mitigating our humanitarian suffering in Yemen through its continuous support through humanitarian relief and reconstruction efforts, especially through the Saudi Program for the Development of Yemen, which is an outstanding experience in developing our troubled areas. These efforts have started to be felt on our economy and with our Yemeni citizens all over the liberated territories. I would also like to sincerely thank humanitarian organizations of Arab coalition countries, as well as donor countries and friendly countries, in addition to various United Nations bodies and organizations for their exceptional humanitarian efforts. I take the opportunity also to renew my call to all donors to honor the pledges they made towards the humanitarian response plan in Yemen so as to alleviate further the suffering of the Yemenis. Ladies and gentlemen, the Palestinian people suffers day on day due to the Israeli occupation policies over the Palestinian territories. This is one of the main causes of tension in the Middle East. The Palestinian people has long awaited a just solution that would guarantee its independent statehood and the end of its suffering. In this regard, I call on the international community to continue to support the UNRWA to enable it to continue to deliver assistance to the Palestinian refugees. Ladies and gentlemen, my wish is to see the work of this session of the General Assembly succeed, and I hope that in the next session we will have seen peace prevail over Yemen and the whole world. In conclusion, and from this rostrum of the United Nations, I'd like to salute our great Yemeni people of all ilks everywhere who are struggling to create the new federated Yemen, the Yemen of justice, equality, and good governance. I congratulate all those great fellow citizens everywhere on the occasion of the 56th anniversary of our 26th of September revolution, as well as the 55th anniversary of our 14th of October revolution. I'd like also to say to all free and honorable men, as well as activists, that upholding the objectives of September and October requires the implementation of the outcomes of our National Dialogue Conference and the creation of a new federation of Yemen in all its 6 regions. May our martyrs rest in peace. I wish prompt recovery to our wounded and freedom to our abducted. Thank you.
De l'Assemblée générale.
On behalf of the General Assembly, I wish to thank the President of the Republic of Yemen for the statement just made. May I request representatives to remain seated while we bid farewell to the head of state.